All right, here we are. Welcome to the Parlor Car. Your host, Steam Tank. You got AceBriggs6, Mecha Flyer, and Spiral Force for once.
I see dead people.
Anyway,
I was
so
enthusiastic as you know what.
our all powerful and mighty editor is not here tonight. He is deceased. Okay, so we are actually kind of blindsided tonight. So it's kind of like, well, let's just try to do this our best. Because there were things that I wanted to discuss, but our editor ain't here, and he has the information on his side. So
pretty much
talk about that.
So tonight's a free for all, I'm guessing.
Pretty much. It's more like one of those lax podcasts, I guess, like a chillax one, where it's like, hey, just come hang out. So I guess I could start by saying that we are confirmed for our panel for Babs. We are confirmed, that's for sure. Obviously, everybody's seen the picture going out there.
Yeah.
So we are going. There's certain things we need to figure out in terms of logistics-wise, but that'll come in due time. One of the other things that I wanted to talk to you guys about is that so today, or no, it was yesterday. It was today, earlier in the morning before I went to bed. Apparently, somebody on Twitter, their fellow Railbro, or in this case, I don't even think it's a Railbro. I think it's just a regular Rail fan, but decided to reach out to us and offer content to put on our channel to share. Apparently, he heard my whatchamacallit,
the
live
call
stream.
Out?
Yeah, the call out that I did. You know, I mean, if you have anything you want to share or have us maybe put on our channel, I would send it in. I mean, so I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about being that we're going to do that, what do you think is the best way that we could go about handling said videos from people? How do you think people should think it should be email? Or, for instance, we could put a Discord link on our Twitter and get people in here that way. However, that would involve... Yeah, that could work. However, that would involve making some rules on the Discord.
I'm almost inclined to say, if people want to send stuff in, I absolutely support that. However, I would say let's try and get a hold of somebody through the group or in the group first via something like Twitter, so we can almost kind of parse through what we're getting before we just start accepting anyone and everyone into the group.
Right.
Well, obviously, everything is subject. Any video that is sent to us is subject to screening and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not just gonna take something and go, cool, and throw it right up on the page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah. So figure I was kind of thinking, because this person reached out to another who's in our group here on the Discord and sent me a message, and he is in the Discord. In fact, if you look in the announcements section on Discord, you can see who. So yeah, so you can see who joined recently. But for video wise, how do you think we should go about doing the screening? Like, should it be like like whenever something comes in, we pick a day to like go through it, or
Well, yeah, I mean, most of us will have to screen it, obviously. Before, it shouldn't just automatically everything that comes in goes right up on the channel. We're not going to do that.
yeah.
Nah.
Now, how should we about doing it as like a top 10, like a top 10 video series?
Maybe.
If
we get enough, we're gonna have to get like more than 10 if we want to do a top 10.
Yeah, obviously.
Well, that's the thing, because what exactly constitutes a top 10? What are we doing a top 10 of?
Exactly.
Well.
These are
10...
video submissions to us. So we could do like maybe the 10 video submissions of the week, splice them together into a video. But
we could do that.
We would have to do something weekly. And I don't know if our editor is up to doing that once a week.
No, but actually, what I was thinking, where it'd be the top 10, or it'd be the top 10 favorite choices of
choices,
or the top 10 favorite videos that we picked. Like I'm not sure how something like that would work, but it'd be like top 10. Like figure how do you think we? Oh, for instance, we could do a scoring system in terms of where they rank. Yeah, that like figure. Oh, that's a nice angle. Oh, you get some lens flare action.
Oh my god,
you're getting artsy fartsy. Oh no.
Okay, not that specific, but at least make sure.
Well, I don't know if we're going to get that many submissions. I don't know. I'm trying to think of how consistent stuff is going to be when it comes in.
Yeah, I would say just for now, we should just start up with just, if it's a small number, just roll with what we got.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like a top 5 to make things easy, or hell, a top 3 if it's that low. Something to start off with.
Right. Okay.
And then we could we've got to gain some momentum with this program, and I don't know if we want to sit there and go, you're better than you, and you're better than you. I don't know if we have the kind of, if it's fair for us to be like that yet.
Nah.
I think for now it's just give us fan submissions. We'll just do whatever with it. We'll just show it.
Yeah.
Like even if it's everything in a slideshow and something super quick, at least that, or you just put it up in like a linked up with all the links for everything.
Yeah.
Oh wow, the editor is here. Asleep in the bed. Forgot about the podcast. You were saying there's Steam Tank?
Hey, I sent a message. I got a response saying that he was asleep. And so yeah, kind of rolling with it. I didn't know he was gonna wake up.
I didn't think he would wake up.
I didn't think so either.
And yes, it is nice. Jack Salvin. Thank you for your comment.
It reminds me, I gotta watch.
Steam Tank gives you a brownie.
I don't have any
I would
brownies.
be careful about those brownies from Steam Tank. You don't know where they've been.
There's going to be a lot of car oil in it.
To be honest, brownies aren't actually my favorite dessert. So,
well, that's not my fault.
I like pistachio ice cream. Thank you very much.
That one's
like
my fault.
Ice cream too. I know. I remember that I remember that.
I myself right now have a pint of, well, actually, this is more than a pint. This is a quart. But I have a quart of Speculoos cookie butter ice cream. It's a Trader Joe's brand.
What?
It's good shit. Don't knock it. Don't knock it till you try it.
I've heard of cookie dough ice cream, but cookie butter ice cream? I don't know. I can't.
Don't knock it till you try it. It's good shit.
I don't know. You're gonna have to get me some and let me try it then.
That sounds good, actually. Just by the sound of it. You piece of thing.
So, anyway, so, there's something else that I wanted to talk about. So, obviously, you know, we got BabsCon coming up relatively soon.
Yep, I should know.
Okay, so as you guys know, that I'm like very hard at work trying to get the new chase vehicle built and ready. However, it has come to my attention that I was messaged by a friend of mine out that lives in Croatia, and apparently he messaged me literally 2 days ago as I was going to bed, and he says, "Hey, I'm coming to LA," and I'm like, "Awesome! When?" "Oh, at the end of March."
Oh, I read that you said March. Oh, this piece of okay. I read it was saying March, but
yeah, literally the last week of March.
And when's BabsCon again? I have because I'm not going. So
mid-April.
I think it's like the third week of April. Yeah. So
13,
like
14,
literally, like there's like a 2-week span in between that the day he leaves and then the start of BabsCon that we have to leave and go. And there's like just so much to do on this current project to get it done and ready. I mean, my ultimate goal is to get it going, get it there, bring it there, and have the magnets sitting on the side of the door. Magnets. That would be awesome. And it would make for a very memorable experience, that's for sure, too. Because I know that there's several people who have been following that and have really, really wanting to see it in person. And so, you know, it not being there would actually disappoint some people. So I have made progress. It's all about me getting enough sleep and then waking up and being able to get stuff done throughout days that it isn't raining, because the last 2 weeks now it's nothing but rain,
we've been having
rain.
Yeah. I think you're in luck. It should be done by now, or I haven't heard anything recently.
There's another rainstorm, but it's a very small one so far. It's only one day on the forecast, but it could just pass over. I know 3 days ago, I was outside. I was trying to do some stuff, and all of a sudden, this big, heavy cloud cover started moving in. It was clear, and then all of a sudden, it started getting cloudy. I was like, "Oh, it's gonna rain." So I put everything away. I put everything away. I just, you know, I and then I waited a bit, and then it passed, and by then it was too dark, and I couldn't do it. But yeah, rain's been a big issue right now with that project right now, and just rain and not enough hands. Yeah, I really need some hands.
And now we go to Ollie Wilson for the weather report. How's the weather, Ollie? It gonna rain.
It gonna rain.
So, Spiral.
Bring me some soup. What kind? Chunky. Hello.
Do you want to tell people about your current venture coming up in May?
Oh, that. Okay, there is a reason why I'm not going to BabsCon. It's not because of funding or the days off. I would be able to go easily. Funding, I don't have to worry about as much. The days off, could work on it. But there's actually a reason why I'm not going to BabsCon. I've already been to one, and trust me, it was a lot of fun. But it's not because I don't want to go because I don't want to. It's because I had an ultimatum that I had to choose between one or the other, which is, of course, 4014's return and the 150th celebration of the Golden Spike in Ogden, Utah. So because of that, since there's just a month apart, it was either one or the other because, yeah, I had vacation days. They're not going to let me use one and then another a month after. And of course, funding wise, it's either one or the other. Hotel BabsCon or hotel renting a car, airplane for 4014. So this year, while you guys handle BabsCon and don't burn down the Bay Area, I will be in Ogden 1 month after you all, posting pictures and stuff. Hopefully not to burn down Ogden. That's, of course, if not everybody else chasing 4014 burns Ogden down with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna be, well, probably not chasing because I'm renting a car and I don't want to risk it because of all the other rail fans out there.
Well, come on, you gotta.
We'll probably all be renting cars too.
Yeah, they're all gonna be renting cars too. To be honest.
Remember, the number one car that can get anywhere in the world is a rental Hyundai.
No lie. I was actually looking at one too. I'm like, oh, nice. No, but yeah. I mean, we haven't received an official schedule yet from UP. We're still waiting. They said mid-February. It's almost over, guys. But UP has their own timing, so we are waiting on them.
They're probably not going to have it up until March.
I know. Hopefully they announce it soon because I did book a hotel on time because they're running out, and also rates are high because of the event. So depending on how the schedule works,
that tastes like cookie butter.
Oh Jesus! I'm gonna try to revive Salt. Well, I'm flying to Salt Lake City first, and hopefully if I'm there a day before 4014, and then after that chase the heck out of it, and then enjoy the 150th, yada yada.
So
the big boy.
Are tickets for the 150th?
Okay, for the 150th, the way how it works, it's $20. Okay, think of it like a convention. There's 3 different days. The main day is Friday, of course, the 10th. It's $20 per vehicle, so it's not per person. So you just have to mention how many people in said vehicle. Right now, tickets are sold out, but they said the next batch will be out on the 1st of April. So for those who haven't gotten it yet, be ready to refresh the page when the first hits. I already got mine, so I'm set.
Yeah.
All that's just the whole planning and getting over there. Which once the schedule's out, then I can begin phase 2.
Yeah, I was actually talking about that, and because I mean, there's a couple of things that we have to do for the house here, and that involves leaving the house for like days, probably a week even. So
almost, yeah.
I've been kind of trying. That's the other thing. I've been trying to work so hard and fast every day on getting this chase truck going is because this is the truck that's going to be used to chase 14 when it's coming to Steam. So that's the whole thing about it. Because I mean, figure this: we have the past history with that red Dodge. It's just the red Dodge isn't gonna last much longer. It's not gonna last. The transmission's going on it, and it's to the point where you'll be driving it down the road at 35, 45 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden the engine cuts off.
Hashtag Mopar problems.
Exactly. Ooh. So it's not something that I would take out of state or even up to San Francisco now.
And the Corolla's obviously gone.
Yeah, your Corolla, it was it fell victim to a hit and run driver, so it's
when
gone.
Are you thinking this, Chase? It's going to be summer 2020?
May
of 2020 or this May?
This May.
Actually, well, what UP said was they are bringing it down to Cali because of the deal with the museum, of course, how they took it back and stuff. But I remember an old poster back at the museum that they said they'll be back in 2022 for the 100th OC. I think it was the 100th fair of Pomona, which is 2022, not 2020, unless they plan something else.
Yeah, and I remember Ed Dickens specifically stated that they are going to bring everything.
That's what they're going to try to do.
Like, literally everything.
Yeah.
I don't
understand.
think $39.85, of course.
From what I understand, once 4014 is done, the hardcore press goes into $39.85 next. She's been down for too long.
Yeah.
They are going to focus on that. But also, what I've been hearing is that 4014 will be not fully complete, because for the Ogden event, they're finishing the locomotive, but they're going to borrow $39.85's tender.
Correct. But that's not going to take that long.
Original coal.
Yeah,
but the tender isn't going to take anywhere near as long as it took to rebuild the steam engine.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, this will be faster.
Yeah. In fact, Ed actually just released a video showing them actually working on the tender. They were putting sheet metal down, closing it off where the coal used to sit, and they were making it liquid tight for fuel oil that was going to go in there. So it's getting worked on. It's just that it's just not going to be ready until after said event.
Nah, so they're just going to borrow $39.85.
Yeah.
Which honestly, it looks exactly the same. Just if you look behind it, you see the
capacity is a little smaller.
I thought the capacity was a little smaller as well, and people are going to notice that.
It's slightly smaller. Yeah, they are going to notice. It's slightly smaller.
Yes, the tender's
at the end of the day, though, they're not going to really care about the tender. They want to see that anyway.
They're going to, yeah.
And if it's running, then that's the part that's going to wow everybody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, as long as they can get the damn thing moving, at the end of the day, that's all people are really cared about.
Well, they can. It's been proven they can. It's called throw enough diesels on it and drag it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can do that.
No, but I mean under its own power.
Yeah.
Even if it has the wrong tender, if it's moving under its own power, people are still going to be amazed.
Yes. Either way, yeah. People will chase it.
Yeah.
People are going to be like, holy crap, that thing is actually alive.
Yeah. Now, Spiral, if I could pull this off, it'd be a last minute thing, but if I could pull it off, my idea is that I'm going to be driving the truck out to Utah.
Ooh.
I'm driving it there.
You're looking like at least maximum 12 hours at good traffic, but no more than that. Maybe something like that, depending on traffic also.
It's been proven because recently last year, Mecha and myself and one other went to Reno in filming of our High Octane series. And that was 8 hours, and we were on the road for more than 8 hours because we had to take stops and everything between. Yeah. So I can drive 12
tell
hours.
You from personal experience, unless you're cutting straight across Nevada and straight across Utah, it took myself and another family member about 8 hours just to go from Carson Valley, an hour south of Reno, all the way to Reno, and then out to the eastern border with Utah in Wendover.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
That's literally from Reno to Wendover is 7 hours all on its own.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I mean, figure this much. If I get the supplies that I need, I mean, like a case of NOS. Maybe not a case of NOS, but I mean, a couple of cans of NOS, some snacks and everything like that, and a well-reserved supply of music and stuff like that. I can do. I can go all the way there, meet you there, and then that way you can even save some money because my folks will be following behind in the other car to meet me out there, and then you could drive with me,
to go chase the train.
This is going to be one hell of a thing if that happens.
Yeah. So I mean, figure if that happens, you save a little money, we all have fun, and everyone's happy. But that's only if I can get out there. You know, I mean, they have to get the tickets up first so I can get them, and then once I get them, I can start making plans and stuff.
And I'll be getting my plane tickets as soon as UP gives a schedule, because I want to be there one day before it even arrives to States, so I can either chase it or just catch it while it's coming into Utah. We still don't know what route it's going to take. There's like 2 main lines you could take, so we're like guessing right now. So
it's probably going to take the one that 844 uses.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah. It's even the shortest route too, so it's like it has to be that one, unless you're planning something else crazy.
It's going to take the Frontiers route. Now, I was actually doing some Google Map searching of Promontory Point, and Promontory Point's in the middle where.
Yeah, basically, Big Boy's not going to go there, obviously. They're going to bring him to Ogden and put him in Ogden Train Museum, and then people have to drive all the way to whatchamahoo's it for the Golden
Promontory.
Spike.
Yeah.
Thank you. I have trouble with that word.
I'm going to say it right now. You cannot take 80. Do not take 80.
I don't plan on to, because everybody's
No,
do that.
not you. I mean Will. He cannot take 80.
Oh.
Why?
You know what? You know what's literally an exit? I believe I'm seeing it's about a mile down the road from Wendover heading east. It's an exit right off the highway. You know what that's the entrance to in Wendover? What's right on the border between Nevada and Utah? What's one of the most famous race nirvanas in the United States?
Oh, it's Bonneville.
The exit for the Speedway is right there.
Oh, I gotta go.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
literally, you look on Google Maps and you can see, it's all of 2 miles past where Wendover is, and there's a little road that turns off the highway. Tiny little road that leads over to Bonneville Speedway Road. Which ends at what looks to be a dead end, but presumably that's supposed to be the parking place and turnaround point if all the rest of the tire tracks are anything to go by.
Yeah.
Where everybody goes ridiculously fast.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure this much. I probably wouldn't go there alone, simply because of how it's easy to get lost out there.
Oh yeah, it's a big flat area. Usually, if you're heading north, all you do is point your compass south and start driving south. You'll hit 80 at some point, and you won't be lost.
Yeah.
I mean, literally 80 flags the sun edge.
Yeah, but what figure what not many people know is the Bonneville Salt Flats. It's not strictly a dried up lake bed. It dries up every now and again.
Yeah.
However, it does get filled with water and it does retain it. Mm-hmm. So it's possible, if you're not careful, you could run into a soft spot.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful. So I would go see it, but I probably wouldn't go out on it.
Not yet,
plus,
at least.
Plus it's salt, and I don't want to ruin the truck without having it coated and protected.
Good point.
So I probably wouldn't go out there. I'd position the truck to get a picture of it out there, but that's about it.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah. Also, there's another thing. Me and Ace were talking about this before either of you two got back in here, and we were talking about BronyCon. So here's what I was thinking. If for me, if I can, what I would like to do, if I have enough cash left over after Babs is over, what I'd like to do is try to plan to go to BronyCon.
Rest in peace,
And he's
Mainline.
back.
There he is.
There.
Sorry, ladies and gents.
AFK'd. Yeah, right. So, anyway, so what I would like to do is I would like to go to BronyCon if I have enough money in reserves left over after Babs. Now, Spiral. So,
Hello.
obviously, you could make Babs if you wanted to and could try. However, I must ask you this. What would be the possibility of you possibly doing BronyCon if it came down to it?
When is it again?
It should be August. Right? Should be August. It's either August or
August 1st to the 4th.
1st and August 4th.
Yes.
Maybe, but I'm not having my hopes up on that.
Because I mean, obviously it's the last, BronyCon, the con itself, because they're obviously closing up shop, and it being the first PonyCon, it would be quite interesting to get to go, at least to send it off. I mean, I mean, just to go. I mean, I wouldn't bother going as a community guest. I would just go attending to enjoy it. But I mean,
and then there would be me hauling in boxes of model railroad stuff, and it would immediately go from community guest to let's have a fucking grand old time.
Yeah. Figure. I mean, if anyone at BronyCon watches this in the coming days, because obviously we get more views on these after they're done. If anyone is listening to this who is going to BronyCon, I mean, if you'd like to see some of us there, or at least meet us, for that matter, I don't think we'll be able to do the type of train layout that we're doing Babs, instead of for whatever Ace here brings with him. Fun.
Let me just tell you what I'm going to bring.
Everything.
Ear rape.
You're gonna bring a stomach?
I don't know. Anyway, so
everything.
He's bringing everything he has.
You damn well better believe it.
So,
oh boy.
So yeah, so if you would like to meet me, maybe Spiral, maybe Mecha too.
I don't know yet.
I mean, I'm just trying to say. I mean, if you would like to meet us on the East Coast, definitely tell BronyCon to reach out to us, and we'll see what we can do.
I think in this case, at this point, it's going to be more a matter of we put our names in for them. The best I can say is because BabsCon is going to be in April. That's where we're going to be at. They will still have their panel applications open, I can almost guarantee. And from April, May, June, July. So we'll have 3.5 months to make something of a social impact after Babs that should give us a pretty good opportunity if we were to try for a panel to go for that. So,
well, I have an idea panel ready. I won't go into too much details on it, but my idea would more or less like, it'd be kind of like a Meet the Railroad Bronies, but be like more or less like, come hang with the RRB sort of a thing. Have fun.
Like the like the room party the little sort of meetup room party that happened last year at BabsCon.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I kind of make it less like a Q&A.
Yeah, I still remember that too, because I believe somebody else compared it to me walking in with a giant suitcase full of stuff. It's like, oh, are you the drug dealer? You got the stuff?
Yeah.
I open it up, fucking thousands of dollars of trades in there. I got the stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, figure this much. If we're able to do Babs, even if it's, not Babs, BronyCon, sorry. If we're able to do BronyCon, I would most likely do a Q&A panel where it'd be like, if you have any questions, feel free to answer. And stuff. So yeah.
Something you said gave me an idea that would be funny to make, even though it's kind of outdated.
Hit it up.
Remember Team Fortress 2's Meet the Team? Meet the Team? What if we did that for the RRB?
Yeah, kind of like that. I mean,
it would need to be person by person, though.
Yeah.
But, I do like the idea of a Q&A where, obviously, people here on the West Coast already know relatively who we are. There are people on the East Coast that know kind of who we are, but it's not more or less...
along with those who may have seen the small loop that was done last year, tucked away along a wall.
Yeah.
I'm still happy I did that, because I'm surprised at the number of people who swung by, got pictures, whatnot. As I'm just sitting in a corner, eating freaking Chipotle, munching on chips, be like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, thanks. It was real fun to have.
Yeah. So I'd probably Q&A. So if anyone had questions about the RRB, answer them, and just ask to their heart's content. I always like doing the more ad-lib panels because they're more fun, and I can tell basically a lot more people like that sort of ad-libness to it anyway. Because from our panel at EQLA, that was mainly ad-lib. We went in there trying to be professional about it, and it just went in and became a circus, and it was great. And that's what made it most memorable. However, when we went to Babs last year,
I love how that sounded. Yeah, we went in. We had this whole plan for a panel, and we went in there. We were all ready to go, and everything seemed fine. And then it went completely haywire. Everything went completely wrong, and it was fucking awesome.
You know what I think? Caused the most trouble last year was the intro video, and that whole thing that ate up a lot of time.
Yeah, that and the train montage that Gary made, that ate up a lot of time. That was both the same amount of time.
Yeah,
and that took that.
I will not disagree with that.
That was 45 minutes of time.
Yeah, however fun and funny it may have been. However fun and funny it may have been, that whole intro about just LENINADE, nobody would have any idea how that relates to the RRB.
Yeah.
No, because it's more of an inside joke thing.
Yeah.
It's more inside joke, and those who really know the RRB. Those who are brand new will be like, what?
Yeah, all they see is some Russian guy who's trying to be Life of Boris, running around a piece of shit Ford, trying to deliver soda, passing off the Ushanka and the crate, only to have somebody come screaming through the door at BabsCon, I got the shit!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll admit, he did get a hell of a reception, though. When he ran in the door. I got it! They're like, yeah, he got it. Wait, what?
I will say this, though. Look, let's be honest. I honestly know that a lot of us are kind of skeptical about that whole video.
Yeah.
Especially because of the hat.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been the hat that everybody was wearing while running with the LENINADE. Because that was an actual Russian, Soviet Russian hat.
Ushanka.
Yeah, with the actual sickle and hammer on the crest. I was a little skeptical. I was very skeptical. Mecha was when we were filming that. I was like, somebody is going to come out and beat the crap out of us.
I was worried, and I voiced my opinion at multiple points, and I got a lot of heat for apparently voicing my opinion against that. It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
What is this, 2019? Yeah. What is this, 2016?
Anyway, so, but yeah, I mean, I was kind of skeptical about that at first, but apparently it was okay. I mean, honestly, for those of you that remember that video at Babs, I mean, honestly, that video itself will never go on this channel.
No, that's the Babs only.
That was a strictly con video, and if it did go on YouTube, it would be under a different channel entity all by itself.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you thought about seeing that, I'm sorry. It's just because of the way things are in modern times with being all this political stuff, kind of neutral on that in terms of the RRB, so kind of don't want to put that on here. Even though the Soviet Union isn't around anymore, however, communism still is, and so we don't want that anywhere near us. History's okay, but I mean, current stuff, let that be by itself.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of, just because it's an escape. As when you come here, you're not wanting to face like, oh, Republican, oh, Democrat. You don't want to see that. You want to see trains, and that's what you're going to see.
That's pretty much it.
Anyway, so I digress about that, but yeah, that video won't come up on here. However, in terms of videos, is that I do for a fact that Mecha, I know you want to do more skits, and I do too.
Original content,
like actual original skits. Like for instance, for example, like the way we did our con announcement videos, QLA and Babs last year. I mean, those skits by themselves were kind of gold. Now here's what I gotta ask: that when do we want to do in quotes skit Babs this year?
As soon as possible, that's for sure.
Because I do know we're gonna have to get that done pretty soon. I'm in essence. So, and I do know that like we all have things to do at home.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, but we're gonna have to find time. Otherwise it's gonna come down to Gary riding his cliche on a sighting at LALS and having some sort of picture announcement.
Yeah.
Which is kind of anticlimactic if you really think of it.
Yeah.
And apparently I was talking to him about that. He apparently has that one video skit that he did that it can be used for anything in terms of an announcement saved up. He has it. It's just reserved in case nothing happens. And yeah, so we need to figure something out for that. But other than con skit wise, I mean, we need to start brainstorming on stuff to do because I can tell people are tired of the live stream here and the and it's all just podcast sort of stuff. And I know
we need stuff.
I can tell that they want more content. I can tell. And the viewership and the numbers are very big indication of that. However, the one thing that boggles my mind is not a lot of people tend to comment on.
It's because they're shy. It's okay.
Well, shy, yeah, but I mean, even if it's like an idea, even it's like you don't get any of that. Which most channels on YouTube, most channels will get those comments saying, "Oh, you should try this. Oh, you should do that. Oh, you should try this next time instead of." We don't get any of that, which is weird. It's like it contradicts having a YouTube channel and being a content creator.
Mm-hmm.
Like, jeez. Anyway, so is there anything else that you might want to talk about? Stuff. So I'm not the only one talking.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of what else can we? Okay, are we like brain dead on what type of content we want to do, or what's the real issue? How?
I don't think it's that we're brain dead. It's more or less that
do we have ideas, obviously, right?
Yes, we have ideas, but it's more or less like getting together on our days off doing.
That's another thing right there. Everybody's days off are either erratic, me, and random, me.
Yeah.
And sometimes a lot of unavailability. It's like, I have the day off, but something came up, either errand or other stuff.
Yeah. I mean, figure this, I'm I'm available almost every day except the odd time that I have to get a call for work and the next day, and that's about it. But usually I'm pretty open.
That worked.
But no, we're not really brain on terms
we have ideas, we have stuff we want to do. It's the time. Well, not really time. Well, yeah, time is actually a factor. Also,
time and the body power.
Time and motion.
If I had a regular job that's like work the weekdays and then weekends off, then for sure we could do a lot of things too.
Yeah.
That's one factor there. I'm erratic, so I'm like, so when's your day off? I have no idea.
Yeah. Also, Spiral, you, me, and Mecha need to head down to the bank and do some information transferring on a certain account.
I know.
Yeah, for that, so we can get that going before Abs. Because obviously people want to get our merch, and the only way to do it is set up an account, get a website going that they can go and get stuff at, whatever they like, and then do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So.
Okay.
Gosh, Gary not being on here really stunts this.
It's a free-for-all night, so almost everything's game. Almost.
It is. So I mean, if there's anything you guys want to talk about, go ahead.
Yo, Mecha Flyer, you got anything you want to do / talk about?
How about talking about the 2 new cats you got?
Oh, the new additions to my family. Well, yes. I don't know if you guys are aware, but about 3 weeks ago, my old cat disappeared, ran off. I have not been able to locate her or send a lot of stuff out. So, yesterday, my mom and I went to the local animal shelter, and she pulled off a stunt I wasn't entirely expecting. wound up adopting 2 other cats. One of them is this beautiful 12-year-old calico. Yeah, it's a 12-year-old cat. It's old, but you know, somebody needs to adopt. Beautiful, and she had a nice, very mushy-gushy personality. Loves attention, and I'm like, you know, somebody's got to take her, and I'm not one that you know sits there and goes, well, you know, I'd love to have a bunch of years with this cat. I just want to give her the best rest of her life that I possibly can. So, you know, no matter how many more years she lives, I want to make sure that they are the best damn years she's ever had. And so there's that. And then the other one who needs to be fixed because, you know, spay neuter rules. But she's a 1-year-old, medium hair, and she's due home Tuesday evening. So we'll see how that one plays out. But yeah, we got 2 new cats coming.
Awesome,
one's already
man.
here, the other one's on her way.
Oh,
so,
awesomeness!
Yeah.
Can't wait to see those 2 new cats the next time I come up.
yeah, the older one, Angel, she's a sweetheart. She loves everybody that's willing to give her 2 seconds. So, you know, you pay attention to her and she will love you forever. And Ruby's very sweet.
is the last name Kurosawa?
Oh my god. This comes to another thing. So I was talking with Ace and Steam Tank earlier, and Spiral, you're gonna love this. I came up with a name for the car.
Oh dear, what? Oh, officially that's not Subi? Wow.
Not Subi, no.
Not,
so
ooh,
you notice how she's wearing white, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's one of my favorite characters that wears white?
Wait. What? Does the name start with an H?
Yes.
No. Yes.
That's all I need. Unless I'm wrong.
Yes, you're right.
Oh, okay, then I'm right. That's all I needed.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna give it a new sticker like the last one had?
I don't know yet. I mean, she's still new, so I'm not really ready to start sticking things on her yet. You know,
that didn't sound right.
Context.
I went places I wasn't planning, but you know.
Yeah.
It's a free for all night to a certain point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think you should at least probably put some sort of like a like you know how they have those decals where you wet the surface and you just kind of squeegee it on and it's there, but then you can peel it off.
I think
you know what I'm talking about?
But I would think a vinyl would almost be easier at that point.
It's kind of like a vinyl, but it's not an adhesive vinyl. It's a kind of like a suction type vinyl where you take the water, you spray it down, make the surface really clean, and then you take this and you just use your force and you squeegee all the water out, and it kind of sucks it onto the thing that you're trying to put it on. That's essentially what like a vinyl wrap is in a sense.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, you kind of just put it on with some water and it on, and then you could easily peel it off later on and you just wipe it down and it's fine. I mean, you could always do something like that, you know, if you don't want
not
to
exactly with water for modern wrapping techniques, but same kind of concept. Yeah, you take something with an adhesive, you stick it on, you peel it off later.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, you can always do that. Something that won't to do behind at least. At least for the window, you can always get that off. I wouldn't put it on the body itself. You know, it's like a bumper sticker. No stickers on there. But you know,
I'm still debating
this.
on tinting the windows. So
Tinting, huh?
yeah.
Which I know in California is probably illegal as hell.
Yeah,
No, you could do it legally. It's just there's very specific degrees you can tint it to.
Yeah, there's a certain dark shade that you can to.
Like limo tint, for example, is highly illegal.
Yeah.
But you can tint it down to like a privacy level where, like if you're walking right next to the car, you could still kind of see in, but looking at it from a distance, you wouldn't be able to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: I was thinking of going to Subaru to do it. So I figure if it's a factory installed tint, they can't say shit.
Yeah, they can't say anything if it's factory.
That is true. That's true.
If it's aftermarket, if you go somewhere aftermarket, yeah, they can say anything they want.
Yeah.
Factory tint, and that's the spec that I would have it at, is the tint that the factory would do.
Actually,
they can't really say anything.
Let me add in something right there. So obviously, okay, so the Suburban that my parents have drove up to back last year, that isn't the first in quote Suburban that my family has owned. We've owned two previously before this one. And both were considerably much longer than this one at the time. But then this one, we found this one was better and everything like that. However, the one before this one had factory tint windows that were dark. It wasn't limo tint, but they were relatively dark. And this is from factory, and the tint went from back windows around the car even to the front windows. And a highway patrol ended up pulling us over on on the start of our family vacation and said, "Hey, I'm giving you a ticket. Your tint's way too dark." And it was a factory tint.
Oh.
And he said, "Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's factory or not. It's too dark. I can't see."
Well, I think that's then at the discretion of
the officer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, we tried to fight that ticket, and we couldn't fight it, so we had to get rid of factory windows and get them replaced.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was a lot of money.
If I want to make my window pitch black, I should be able to. Dang it!
In theory, you should, but because of just the fun police, I mean, they just say no.
Yeah.
Nope.
No fun.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of fun,
oh my god.
I went out. This is actually last week. Actually, went out to a store called Film Tools here in my city, and they had these GoPro mounts, but they're not actually GoPro branded mounts. They're another brand, but they're very high quality. They use a pump style suction cup, and the mount itself is made out of aluminum and steel. So there is no plastic on this thing except for the pump itself. And I got like 5 of them. And they weren't cheap. They were like $30 per unit. And so I got 5, and these should come in handy for chase big boy. Because now we can actually put a camera facing road, facing sides of the cars in different angles, and be able to really catch the moment, including the people that are in the car, for that matter, too. Assuming if you want to be on camera, that is. Because obviously not everyone I think has been on camera that much. I know a few people who have. They've had their faces covered. Thinking back to a certain LENINADE video. But yeah, I figure if we wanted to do that sort of a thing, we have the tech and the tools for it now for filming.
We have the
our
technology.
dialogue. Yeah.
Also, 2 surviving shark noses got bought up.
We can do things. We have the technology.
Oh my God, he lives!
Everything.
Oh my God, he woke up.
We can do anything that
Good
we
Lord,
want.
he's sleep.
We can.
He's sleep talking.
Gary, go to sleep.
I don't want to go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
I don't want to. I'm happy
Go to sleep.
I think
I don't want to go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
I'm literally in bed. I'm under my covers right now. My head is on my pillow and my TV is on. I'm watching SpongeBob in bed. I'm trying to go to sleep, but I can't.
Gary, go to sleep.
I want to go to sleep. Besides, I heard what you said. I heard what you guys said. You have no sense of direction, and I'm gonna stay here to the end. So you guys have a sense of direction.
Wait, are they getting restored?
Oh my, what?
I'm reading the comments.
Oh yeah.
Hello, Mayflower train set. I have no idea. Do any of you guys have any info on the 2 surviving shark noses that are in Michigan?
They're not being restored?
Yeah.
Wait, did they get bought up for like a museum or something, I'm guessing?
Yeah, they're RF-16 or something like that.
I'll have to look into that. I wouldn't. Give me a second. I'm trying to beat up the monkey. Or it's gonna beat me up.
Hey, Gary.
Yeah.
What episode of SpongeBob are you watching?
Right now, it's the new student starfish. It's the one with the with the egg. What's the name of the egg? They just said the name. Roger, the one with the egg. Roger. Without this light, Roger would die in seconds. Life dead. Yeah, right now.
Spanish class.
Yeah, right now it's the part where the light bulb just went out, and they're gonna save Roger. Okay, SpongeBob has the egg. Okay, Patrick is going to the closet. He opens up the closet and he says, "Light bulb. Why does it have to be so far away?"
That's Patrick.
Yeah. Oh, he's climbing up the light bulbs right now. Oh, I haven't seen this in such a long time.
Yeah.
Well, I need a video feature so you guys can see this.
Mayflower, do you know what road name those shark noses are by chance?
Like what railroad?
Yeah. So I wasn't aware of them.
Kept in storage.
Yeah, but do we know what road name they are?
I don't know.
The shark noses?
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that the stuff that Alex hates?
Yes.
Yeah.
You mean the guy who's lurking in our chat right now?
A lot of us.
See you, Grandpa.
her buffer.
Escanaba and Lake Superior.
Where's this?
Interesting. I've never actually heard of those rivers.
Information.
Ow.
Escanaba and Lake Superior. I've never heard of them. Yeah.
They're originally DNH.
Where are they linked?
He's putting it in the chat right now, in the YouTube chat for us. I should probably.
It's in the super chat.
Is it bad that I don't like shark noses either?
It's a Steam versus Diesel thing.
Oh, they've been kept in a shed since the 80s. Oh, okay.
So I'm guessing these are like barn find shark.
It's a fish out of water.
Oh! Speaking of barn finds, hey, Mecha, can you imagine playing Forza Horizon 4 and then coming across a barn find car, and then in that barn there's a barn find locomotive?
That would be.
Can you imagine that? like you know, the barn find in the game is like a rail yard, and then there's like a locomotive in there too, along with the car.
Okay, so this is the company that's repairing the trains, the Escanaba and Lake Superior Railroad. Looks like they are they are an independent rail company.
Yeah, it looks to be
runs between Michigan and Wisconsin.
Yeah.
1205 and 1216. It looks like are the two locomotives.
If you give me money, I'll go make the zoo.
We will make the zoo. And there will be wild, and there should be wild mikus running around.
Hey fellas, I just got back from being out with Flarabelle all day. So
your date? I mean, your outing?
Wait, wait, Buffers is here?
Yeah.
Yes, he
is. God, the rumor mill begins.
Oh, wait. So as soon as I come in, everybody comes in.
Oh, and I'll start that with now that Alex is here, or Buffers. Guess what, Buffers? We have 2 paint projects.
What?
Okay.
I'm repainting the T1 to some equestrian-based thing, and Steam is thinking of painting his Dash 8. Yep. It's gonna be rainbow. It's gonna be the Rainbow Dash Brass Dash 8 and the Equestrian Railroads T1.
Oh God.
Oh Lord.
I know you are suffering right now.
It looks so good in Pansy.
Well, that's the thing. It wouldn't need a necessary full repaint. Just, Rainbow Dash blue here and a little Twilight Sparkle purple on the tender.
Oh, God.
Wait, okay. Speaking of shit, wait, Railfan stole some parts from the Sharks and owner locked them up. Oh, damn, sad.
Oops.
Speaking of shenanigans, so about Metro's most the most update announcement about the new locomotives for their fleet. I made casual. Those I don't know, diesel freight diesels for their passenger services. I for one am okay with this. Now if only Metrolink can do something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, let's get some ST70 Aces for our fleet. Why not?
Yeah.
Has anybody ever thought if that would be too heavy for their rails? Just saying.
They said I remember I read around that after the Dash 9 rentals for the BNSFs, a lot of the track had to get maintenance again because of that.
So Metra using SD70 Max.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're gonna have a lot of the same problems.
My question is, what the heck did they do to? Okay, whose bratty deal was this, and how much of a beer should I buy him for this?
Well, here's the thing, though. I can understand where it comes from because the thing about the SD70 Max is they work. compared to current passenger equipment out there. They actually run. That's what they need. They need something that works. The problem with modern passenger engines like the I'm losing my train of thought, no pun intended.
Grandpa.
Like the Siemens Chargers and the F-125s is that they just don't run.
They're always breaking.
Yeah, so I can understand why they would want used equipment. The other nice thing about them getting used equipment is that they get a tax break for it.
Right.
Yeah, and if they could still get parts for it, well, why not? But the only problem is that going to be too heavy for their infrastructure? I don't know. It's up to their civil engineers to figure that out.
Well, I mean, figure down here, Union Pacific runs over most of their trackage. So it's like, I mean, what's the difference? I mean, at least over here where I am, I mean, get UP going down the tracks at least 5 times, 6 times a day.
I'm not saying that it's not going to work. Stuff. I'm not saying it's not going to work. I'm just saying, has anybody over there thought of that? That's all.
I don't know, but I wish they would.
Okay, so let's get some ST70 Ace Metrolinks going.
You know, those would actually work really well.
I'd love to see that. Metrolink library on ST70 Aces.
Well, I mean, it's like the Amtrak, what are they using? An SD40, I think, or something for one of their reserve locomotives, for one of their utility locomotives. I know they're running Dash 8s, or Dash 9s.
Yeah.
Dash 8s, yeah. The P42s as always. The F59s, well, what's left of it. I think we have like what, 2 F59 PHIs.
Bring back the SDP40F.
Oh, dude,
they're all being retired. Sorry.
Yeah.
Too late.
No, the SDP40Fs didn't work either. Back in the day, they had a lot of problems with derailments.
Yeah, because of that 6-axle design, yeah.
That and balancing issues, the boiler in the back of them. Yeah, so those didn't work.
Reinstitute the FP45s.
No, you know what? We should. You know what? We should do one better. You know what works? Southern Pacific A3 Atlantics. Give them to Metrolink.
I always wanted Metrolink to have.
Yeah, give Metrolink some A3 Atlantics. Those will work. They'll go out from
they only
San
have
Bernardino, just like back in the day.
Dude, well, honestly, there's only one in existence left.
Make more. Dang it. Make it happen. Make more. Come on, Gary. Use your powers.
What is the total drawbar capability of one of their standard like F40 PHs, let's just say?
I don't know what their drawbar capability is.
All right, now by comparison, what's the drawbar of 3751?
A lot.
A lot. It's the same as 844, I think.
Replace one of those F40 PHs with 3741 for a day. 3751 for a day. Yeah.
I think that's been done. No, it hasn't been done, but the Metrolink has allowed excursion.
No. I don't mean an excursion. I mean throw out those frickin' diesels, throw in 3751, and watch a steam crew steam plow, just blow every other diesel out of the water.
Just for a day, that'd be fun.
When you have a crew dedicated to a locomotive like that, dedicating to keep her running and running on time, you bet your ass that steam locomotive is going to run like clockwork compared to those diesels.
There's only one problem with that. There's only one problem.
And that is?
Well, yeah. You don't only have just the locomotive pulling the passenger cars for Metrolink. You also have the steam engine, and you also have the
head-end power.
Yeah, head-end power. You have your tool power, and also you would still need the diesel to power the all the electrical stuff and the lights.
Not
and
really,
everything.
because you got the
3751 is built-in generators.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, it has pneumatic dynamos.
You now know. So the only thing that really the diesel would be used for is dynamic braking.
Braking.
That's it.
Braking,
That's
that's it.
literally all they
and
use
they
it
could
for.
Braking
do
and
that
PTC.
dynamic braking.
Braking
with
and
a B
PTC.
Yeah.
Braking and PTC. That's what they're for.
Yeah,
That's what
That's
what the diesels are.
and you're providing electricity for everything.
I
the steam
vote
can do it too, but more
bring back steam engines for short line passenger trains, and then bring back the B units for dynamic braking and assistance.
Let's just grab that one little steamer that Travel Town's trying to restore and actually restore it and put it to use. Because they're restoring that little locomotive for nothing.
No, guys. Guys. I got a better idea. This is what you do. I was looking up the Gold Line. The Gold Line over here in LA. That track is actually standard gauge. It's 4 feet.
It is.
So just get a standard gauge, a really tiny standard gauge engine, maybe a 040.
Yeah, it is, Gary. But what's the rail?
Yeah, I know. You got.
Yeah, because that's considered light rail, even though it's
I know you're ruining
even though it is
moment.
standard gauge.
You're ruining the moment. You just killed my happiness.
Garibalde, I have a better idea. Well, I thought you wanted to take Bikini Bottom and push it somewhere else.
No, that was your idea. You had that idea last week. I wanted to push somewhere else where the Bikini Bottom was, and then I wanted to put all of my stock investments in the Krusty Krab, but you wanted to put all your stock investments in the Chum Bucket. What the hell were you thinking, dude?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Anyway,
I love how everybody answered that in tandem. What were you thinking? Nothing.
Back on the subject. No, Steam does run. It works. The problem is that it's complicated to maintain. So it would be illogical to switch back to Steam. What would be the more logical thing would be to refurbish all of our current equipment. It's actually cheaper to do that than to buy new equipment. Not only that, but manufacturers like EMD are even offer opportunities for railroad agencies send their equipment back to them, refit them, and then they send it right back to the rail agency.
Exactly.
Well, there's entire companies that exist purely for that.
Right, and EMD is one of them that's offering that service.
Yeah.
And I think that's smarter.
Actually, it's actually fun that you mentioned that, because I was actually talking with Ace about the GG1 earlier.
You can't bring the GG1 back to life easily because of its cores.
Exactly, that's what I was saying. It's all the guts of it. Between the electricity, the actual electric frequency of those overheads being completely different, as well as the motors, all the guts and internals, everything of the GG1, nothing would make it
overhauled.
Yeah, you would be starting literally with wheels, a frame, and a body, and that's it.
Not only that, but with the GG1, you're looking at technology that couldn't easily be replicated. For one, OSHA would not allow it because the coolants used in a lot of its mechanics back then were highly carcinogenic.
Yeah, they used asbestos in some stuff. Yeah,
it was so bad. The cores had to be sealed and put away in a nuclear waste disposal.
Oh shit! I didn't hear about that bit.
The cores were sealed up for all time. But the problem is that reconstructing a lot of those components would be extremely difficult because there's nobody that has the capability to do it. It's like there's a video on YouTube about how somebody asked the scientists a question: could a Saturn V rocket be rebuilt to this day with the same exact specs? And the answer is no. because none of the companies exist anymore, and none of the patents or blueprints or nothing, almost nothing exists to replicate every single part that was used on that rocket back then.
Yeah.
So you would be looking at the same situation for the GG1.
In theory,
it's lost technology.
Yeah, in theory, you could design and build new traction motors, new everything for it, but you'd be starting with wheels, frame, body, and that's it.
Exactly.
She's a beautiful locomotive, but trying to get one running would cost 3 times the scrap value of the locomotive.
Or what it would cost to just buy a brand new electric engine.
Yeah, the whole point to restoring a GG1 would be the exact same reason of restoring a steam locomotive, which would be to run
nostalgia.
It. The problem is, because of the nature of overhead electrical, she would be extremely limited in her operational capabilities.
Well, that's why you places that you can run it.
In the
Northeast corridor, and that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only place.
So it would essentially be completely at the mercy of Amtrak. And once Amtrak got rid of the GG1 in favor of the AEM7s, they never looked back. Yeah.
I wish they'd bring them back.
Yeah. There's no point in trying to fight what's already been staged, unfortunately. Yeah, the only other option would be to replace those distinct gigantic pantographs with something like a trolley pole, which doesn't require a high tensile wire, and you could run it at some small setup, but you would still need the infrastructure for it. So
yeah.
It's just one of those things that's going to be how it is for the long run.
However, I know for a fact that if the East Coast ever wants steam back, they have the infrastructure still. You just gotta do some TLC.
Wait, for electric or for steam?
Steam. Because you still got the coaling towers, water towers, and
honestly, when you look into it, that's why the Norfolk Southern, Norfolk Western, technically 611, the T1, I believe that original Chesapeake in Ohio. I know the Malay that was running for a while there, and supposedly the one, that other 484 that's being rebuilt down in, I think it's Alabama or Kentucky, they're all still coal-fired.
Yeah, Kentucky. Yeah, they are fired.
And they're not being transferred over.
Superior is way more abundant on the East Coast than it is on the West.
Yeah. That's why none of the East Coast trains...
The coal actually has a higher burning temperature than the oil.
Yep, because the coal is such high quality out here.
Efficiency. Yeah.
Yep.
The only problem with coal is that, well, no, not the problem. What I'm trying to say is that the reason why Norfolk and Western took so long to switch from steam to diesel is because the coal was literally coming out of the ground. It was so abundant. So it was still cost effective to be using coal as a fuel source compared to importing diesel fuel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's why Pennsylvania Railroad was under the same thing as well for a while there.
Yeah, it took a while for them to switch too.
Now, it also didn't help that with Pennsylvania, they weren't exactly pushing a diesel agenda that fast, and once steam started phasing out, they started pushing diesel hard and not in the right way. So it definitely hurt them.
Now, on the subject of coal, there's a news story I heard earlier in the week. It actually it was actually kind of interesting. Apparently, the pizza industry is now one of the last saving graces for the coal industry, because there's new pizza ovens coming out that are coal-fired.
Not charcoal, but coal.
Like anthracite
bituminous,
coal, yes.
Bituminous and anthracite coal-fired? That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's not going to have quite the same flavor, but that's the real deal right there.
I didn't know you can eat anything fueled by that stuff.
Yeah, because of
as long as because the thing is, the way that pizza ovens work is the pizza is cooked alongside the fire, not above it, not below it.
Yeah, that would be the only way.
The ash still floating around would still get all over the pizza. There's no two ways about it. You would need some
I don't
form
know
of a
exactly how they've
positive
designed it, but
Yeah.
they say that the reason why is because of the way that the coal, the kind of temperatures that the coal is capable of producing.
Yeah. But yeah,
But other than that, you know, they're not. Coal-fired power plants are being kind of phased out in favor of like natural gas.
Yeah, because of the emissions.
Because of the well, that and getting rid of the ash is a pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ash, and you know what? The ash from coal dust is horrible. It's absolutely useless. It burns the ground around it when you try to bury it, because that's all you can do with it.
Yeah, it's just pure carbon.
It's just useless, and it's very expensive to remove it and to bury it. So I can understand why they're switching.
If the dust from coal after you burn it is pure carbon, couldn't they necessarily sweep it up, kind of purify it a little?
Not really. It's such poor
metal?
quality, Will, that they have to bury most of it.
Yeah, because listen, here's something like at LALS, over at the steaming bays, since they have the coal burners, like when I first joined the club, they had to dig up a section of ground because they were gonna put in a new pipe, and that section of ground, it was hard as a rock because for 50 or 40 years, people were dumping the coal and ashes right in front of the steaming bays. So it was hard as a rock digging into that ground. So,
yeah, and Garibalde, let me ask you this. Was anything growing on top of that ground?
No, it was black.
See? That's the other problem with coal, is that it burns the ground.
It's death. There's nothing that can
Have a good one, Mayflower. Nice
thanks for stopping in, dude. And thanks for the information about those RF-16s. I was not familiar with them at all.
Same.
Yeah.
Let's smash one day. And no, not in that kind of context.
Spiral, we can smash like that, eh?
Oh God.
Find a good Switch person, talk to me.
Yeah, it's interesting with the whole
starting
coal
to
thing.
go places that we're not supposed to go.
Yeah.
Moving it back around.
This is just drunken stupid.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
Yeah.
Take your mind out of the gutter and be homeless.
All right, we're out of the gutter. So we were saying about coal. Yeah, it's terrible. Well, the dust is terrible.
Yeah, but it's curious because even with the T1 Trust that was ongoing, I was wondering for a short bit there, are they going to stick with the original coal or are they going to retrofit for oil? And that was answered really, really quick when somebody had an original coaling motor still functional from an actual tender, an original tender from PRR. So they're going forward with coal in the fully automated system akin to what is on the big boy, or what was on the big boy, using the automatic
the whole
auger
auger and stuff.
Yep.
Oh.
She was fast and she constantly needed to be fed. So yeah, they're going for pure coal fire for the T1. It's definitely not going to be hard to find her the fuel. Coal is extremely abundant still. So yeah, that's going to be.
Yeah.
Well, what's in?
Don't get into another Centralia situation.
Well, yeah, I remember that. What's interesting is that some coal. What's interesting though is that has anybody talked about how the Durango and Silverton is switching over to?
I saw that as well coming up.
Yeah, they're switching. Yeah, Durango and Silverton is switching over to oil because it's safer. They don't want to be blamed for any of the fires that they've had in Colorado.
Yeah, that being said,
that's the thing too with coal.
Do they have water-equipped speeders usually chasing those trains?
I don't know.
I know the Virginia and Truckee, every time the V&T was running number 29 up and down the hill, they had their speeder with the water tank trailing right hot on her heels just to make sure if there's anything that sparked up. They had the fire.
I thought the V&T engines were oil fired.
They are, but there's still the problem, still the risk of something hot hopping off of a train.
Yes.
Okay, well that's a good point.
Yeah, that is true. Like even like at LALS, my friend Tom, he had his Berkshire running, and he went through a section of track and there was a fire that started, and we're like, "Hey, where'd the fire come from?" And his Berkshire, his engine is oil fired, and we said, "Did your engine start that?" And we're like, "I don't know, because there was no coal burner going by earlier." So we're like, "I don't know, maybe it was the Berkshire." So it is possible.
One thing you have to remember about a steam engine is that there is a continuous burning fire going on. It's not a controlled explosion like in an internal combustion engine.
Yeah,
There's a
No, it
constant fire going that's boiling water.
No, it's not a sealed combustion chamber or anything like that. There's inlets and there's an ash pan underneath it. It can in theory get out because it does have an air intake on the bottom of it.
Yeah. So it's not common, it's not likely, but especially with the VNT, knowing how Nevada is literally the driest state in the nation with the lowest annual rainfall. I was talking with the guys on the speeder before taking a ride one time, and they said, yeah, if the VNT is found to be at fault for causing a wildfire, they get humongous fines.
Enough to shut them down.
Exactly. So they cannot take that risk, and they always run the speeder with them.
Yep, which is one of, well, I don't know about the speeder, but but all of that is the reason why Durango and Silverton is switching to oil and funnily enough, that's the reason why Southern Pacific number 18 is up there right now, because it's an oil-fired narrow-gauge engine, and they're using it to train the crews on the Durango and Silverton.
I was thinking they were using that locomotive as a temporary replacement while the Durango and Silverton locomotives were being retrofitted.
Kinda, yeah. They're doing that too, but they're using it for both of those purposes, as a stand-in, as a substitute for the time being, and as a training platform.
That's good.
Yeah, no, I'm actually kind of excited to see them burning oil. That's going to be so much better for them. It's going to be easier for them to get a hold of oil anyway.
The curious thing is, though, it's harder to safely ship something like oil. If coal tips over, so you get some coal dust, but you can get a loader and you can load it back up into another.
Yeah, you can sweep it back up and put it back in.
If oil falls over and spills out, that's a major environmental disaster.
And the thing about coal is coal actually does take a lot of energy to get going.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a very hot fire to get anthracite coal to start burning. I mean, mind you, once it burns, and it keeps going until it's burned out. But it takes a lot of energy to get a coal fire started. Hence why they tend to grind it into a fine powder before using it. Because when you grind it into a fine powder, it catches a lot easier. There's a lot more available surface area.
That's what's installed on the T1 is a powder. I don't want to say an atomizer necessarily, but it's a coal crusher that grinds up those giant coal chunks and ejects them right into the firebox in the T1's boiler.
Basically like a decimator.
Essentially, yeah. Gigantic crusher and blower.
Yeah, because like when in the live steam hobby, when you fire up a coal burner, because coal cannot catch on fire. You can't just get a match and just throw it on coal.
No, it doesn't work like that. No,
you usually have to soak a rag in oil and stick that in the firebox.
And you have to have all the conditions right. You have to have all the conditions right for it to get coal to ignite.
Yeah, you have to have a fire going already, and then you add that coal to the fire that's already going.
Yeah, you're right.
How you're supposed to do it.
Yeah. And that's why 1225 Pere Marquette is still coal-fired as well.
I love Pere Marquette.
See, that's the other cool thing about...
Speaking of coal and stuff, there was this video that I saw. I'd have to dig up the link and show you guys later. But in New Zealand, this guy bought a 7.5-inch gauge big boy locomotive.
I heard about that.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And converted it to run on diesel fuel.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, why can't, instead of burning oil, why not diesel fuel?
Because diesel fuel's more expensive.
It is more
Yeah, that's
expensive,
true.
but in
Expensive, but
theory,
it burns clean.
in theory, assuming that the firebox can contain it, the beautiful thing about a steam engine is it can use anything for fuel.
Disneyland runs
As long
on
as you can
Disneyland
put-
steam.
Yep. And something else curious I noticed is everybody's familiar with Busch Gardens Williamsburg, correct?
Yeah.
They started with 2, and a couple decades ago they got a 3rd locomotive that they use for their in-house mini railroad. I thought it was the case, but a family member shooted off his own. No, they can just add effects to it. All 3 of those locomotives they have, 440 Americans, they're all propane-fired steam.
Yep.
And actually,
Like I said,
propane's actually
as long as
Yeah.
the firebox and the fuel system can contain it, you can run a steam engine off of anything.
In theory,
Because-
you could throw a couple pieces of hot uranium in a water supply and make steam with that.
Oh god.
I'd
Hell,
advise
that's
against
pretty
that.
much how, that's advised against that, but that's actually kind of how a nuclear power plant works, is using the heat generated from the nuclear reaction. It boils water, creates steam, and turns turbines.
Yep.
That and a
That's how a
piece of
nuclear reactor works.
a piece of uranium does have to be surrounded by water at all times, otherwise it will melt a hole through the firebox and turn it into slag.
Yeah. What you're essentially
And they go
looking at
boom.
there at that point isn't a direct drive, but what would almost be better would be a nuclear electric drive. Nuclear powers the steam turbine, powers the
And
electric.
that's not the first time that idea has been considered. They did think
I
during
remember
the
seeing.
1950s.
Yep, I
about
remember seeing.
And the
making
problem was the
everything
core
atomic powered.
and shielding it. The
Mhm.
problem was both the core shielding it properly, so you don't have excess radiation poisoning your passengers and
Yep.
the city around it. And not only that, but a train is not a stable platform. It's always moving around. It juts back and forth. It's not like a ship or a stationary power plant where the facility is stable.
Yeah.
And,
It was a novel idea, and if it could have been put into a safe use, it would have been arguably the most efficient railroad piece of equipment there could have been. But safety
Unfortunately-
just wasn't on its side.
well,
Safety and practicality.
by the way, going back to what we were saying about steam engines burning anything, the steam engines in Disneyland are all fueled by biodiesel.
Oh, that's what they're running off of now?
Yep, they burned it in the fireboxes like what John described.
Yeah, like the atomizers that are used in any
Yep.
bunks, Type C bunk oil burners.
Yep, basically the atomized fireboxes. It smells really good when they're running.
Yeah, it smells like
Probably
French
smell like
fries. Of
French
course, it
fries.
smells good.
It does.
They probably
Gotta-
get all their biodiesel from the French fry stand in the park.
Yeah,
2
that's the
years-
thing.
Yeah,
Is
that's the thing.
don't
I
have
don't know why, but I've always liked the smell of burning diesel. Like
it has a certain
when you go to an
richness to
airport,
it.
you have that sort of like smell of all the airport equipment and the jet fuel going, and it's got this
You get-
weird kind of combination that's
Yeah, I remember that smell when I was in LAX and Beijing International.
yeah. It's a
Um,
smell you only really. I mean, it's you can kind of find similar smells, but that's a very distinctive smell you get at airports.
Wish.
in fact,
Now let's burn used tires for fuel. Let's do it.
the North Koreans do that. The North Koreans do that. No, seriously, I'm dead
You
serious.
gotta
Seriously,
be
that's how they
kidding.
run their
Smells bad.
trains.
And I bet it smells bad too.
The North Koreans burn tires in their steam engine.
Yep.
Oh my god.
It's.
They
I
do.
saw a
Horrible.
video of it. It's crazy.
I've seen it. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
somebody put the
horrible.
link for that in the description.
Yeah, I'll find it right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they 2 years ago, in fact, Flarabelle and I got a chance to get a cab ride in a Disneyland steam engine. It was really fun, but the whole time it smelled so good.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Wait, was it
Yeah.
at Disneyland or Disney World? Because both
Disney-
of them are.
Disneyland.
Disneyland.
Yes, both of them have steam-powered trains. I know Walt was adamant about that, and on multiple occasions was able to be found running the trains instead of doing his job.
He would really.
Well, here's the fun thing: at Los Angeles Live Steamers, there is actually a barn that belonged to Walt Disney.
Oh yeah, the Disney.
Not only that, but he was one of the original members of the Los Angeles Live Steamers.
Had it not been for the entire Disney Corporation, I suspect he would have been a railroader for life.
Yeah. He was a railroader for life.
Horrific racism aside, he had one of the coolest hobbies in the world.
Fun fact: Disneyland itself was built as a giant layout, and the whole thing revolves around the railroad. That's the centerpiece to him. That was the centerpiece to him, and the Mark Twain steamboat. In fact, both were his personal property, not Disneyland property. The Mark Twain steamboat was Walt Disney's personal property. Didn't belong to Disneyland.
Yeah, I remember hearing that the entire Disneyland Railroad belonged to Retlaw Corporation or something. Basically, his name backwards. He owned that railroad.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, the railroad and the steamboat, that was his property.
Oh, and one cool thing I found out about Disneyland, the Disneyland Railroad. You know, the first engine, the CK Holiday.
Oh yeah, my favorite.
That you know what that engine, who it's named after?
They're all named after Santa Fe CEOs.
Yes, the CK Holiday is the founder of the Santa Fe Railroad because it was Santa Fe and Disneyland when it first started.
Yes,
just found that out recently.
The other piece of equipment that's still technically Walt's personal property is the Lily Bell, that elaborate private passenger car.
Yep, which he would every once in a while put on one of the trains to pull around, where he would take VIP guests on board for a ride.
It's still possible to get a ride. In fact, Clarabelle and I are working on another trip to go and see about getting on a ride on the car. But I've heard that it's somewhat complicated. You have to show up very early, and you have to sign up for a special ticket. And it comes with like a tour of the facilities. So if I get a chance to do that, I'm going to take plenty of pictures and videos. So we'll see.
Yeah, you could literally be sitting in the seat that Walt Disney once sat upon.
Or Nixon, because he entertained guests, politicians, and all kinds of people.
I don't know.
There's someone as prolific in the historical sense as Walt Disney.
I dare say Disney was more important than Nixon.
Yeah. Disney was more relevant for a much longer period of time than Nixon was.
Yeah, a lot of political buffs will shoot me for saying it, but definitely Disney over Nixon.
And that's the thing. Walt Disney had an international
appeal.
Appeal, yeah.
Still does.
Nixon did not. A lot of people hated him, but still, that's besides the point.
You're hard pressed to find somebody that isn't at least partially a Disney fan. We all have our favorite Disney movies.
Of course.
And that company would not exist if it weren't for Walt.
Nope.
So, yeah, at that point, and there's a Disneyland in pretty much every country in the world almost.
No, just region. Like, that Disneyland, Disneyland, Disney World, Disneyland Paris, Shanghai, I think Hong Kong has a Disneyland, and Tokyo. I think that's it.
Hey, Buffers.
What?
Buffers, I got a question for you.
I don't know why the chicken crossed the road. I'm going to be upfront with that.
No, how about this? No, this is the awesome suggestion. How about this?
Why did the chicken cross the road? It's simple, because they're anarchists and they do what they want.
How about in a couple of years, when it's finished, you, me, and Maggie go to China to see the Zootopia land in the Disney land over in China. Come on,
That would-
Zootopia
that-
land. Come on.
That would be
You
Maggie
guys
will
want to go to
love
China
that.
so badly?
that would be
guys
fun,
are
but there's a
nuts.
lot of complicated things that would prevent that sort of thing.
But come
There's a
on,
lot-
it's Utopia land, Matt. Come on.
It's also
It's
China,
literally
which is a
furry
very difficult
land.
country to get into.
No, it's not. No, it's not that at
I'd
all.
much rather go to
There's
Japan, to be
reasons that
honest.
there's reasons I can't discuss in
That
this
one's my
forum.
favorite.
Okay. I'll just take Simone then.
Yeah,
Yeah, go with Simone and
yeah.
I'll
Nice
take
thing.
Simone and I'll take a steam tank with me.
No.
He doesn't
Yes.
want to go to
Oh.
China.
Okay, then I'm taking Spiral.
I don't think he wants to go to China either. Japan.
He didn't say no.
And I think Steam Tank wants to go to Japan too.
Yeah,
I think everybody wants to go back
Where's
to Japan.
yeah.
One of my buddies would technically be going back because he was.
Okay, well, it's going to be 10 o'clock, so do you guys want to wrap it up? Or
Yeah, I was just gonna say let's wrap it.
Yeah, I gotta take a.
That I gotta watch that started
I gotta
like
shower.
6 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Well-
if thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you guys next month.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, 2 weeks from now will be March.
Yeah. Ace, you're gonna add something in?
I'll try and make it all the way through this, but it may be a little more difficult towards the end. It's probably just as well as way to the end. I meant to do this a couple weeks ago just as a sort of final thing, and well, you probably know what I say when this is almost more memorial than anything. A couple weeks ago, I was going to give a shout out to a special someone in my life who, when I was young, she took me to a lot of the train stores. She helped to feed into the hobby that has played such a massive role in my life at this point. If she had not helped out, I definitely wouldn't be where I am with model railroading. My Aunt Sue's birthday was 2 weeks ago, and a couple weeks ago on Wednesday, she had been found passed away in her house. So
I'm so sorry to
Aunt
hear
Sue,
that.
yeah, to my Aunt Sue, thank you for
Many
getting where I
condolences.
am. A
I'm
belated
so
happy
sorry,
birthday
Ace.
to you, and yeah, thank you for getting me where I am in the railroading.
Thank you, Ace. That was very nice.
yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
Ace.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
So,
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
this one's for you, Aunt Sue.
Thank you, Ace. That was very nice. Sorry, I'm really sorry. I didn't know. I had no idea. I'm so sorry.
I didn't tell really many people, so yeah. Thanks everyone, and have a nice night.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Night.